Hello everyone, my name is Chandan Singh and welcome to my channel. So guys, in this video I am going to teach you about state of possession in present time and subject would be third person singular. Guys, I have already taught you, if you talk about possession, it means whatever belongs to you, you are the owner of those things. It means you have possession on those things. Okay, you possess something. So third person singular means what? See, there are two people, they are talking to each other. There are two people talking to each other. So this person who is asking a question, who is first opening the mouth and saying something, is first person. The person in front of this first person listening to him or her, if there is a girl listening to her, is called second person. It means two people are talking, one is first person, another is second person. And they both are talking about someone. So this person is called third person. Third person. Today we are going to talk about third person singular, not plural. See, these two people are talking about one man. So though this is third person, yet it is singular because there is only one. It means only they are talking about only this guy. Suppose there is one more person here. So now they are third person but they are plural because you can see two people here. So if you talk about plural, I have already taught you I, we, you, they, plural. The structure of, for these subjects I have already taught you that you have to use do for asking questions. For negative you have to use don't have. I have already taught you. So here we are not talking about third person plural. We are talking about only third person singular. So now if we talk about the possession of third person singular, it means this guy possesses something. This guy possesses something. So how we will speak in English? How these people will talk about this person? If this person has to say that okay, he is Mr. Sharma. So if this person has to say 4 or 5 sentences about Mr. Sharma's possession, then what he will use? The structure would be subject plus has plus object. It means when this person will say that Mr. Sharma has blah blah blah. Okay, so the word which you are going to use is has. Subject plus has. Subject plus has, then object. So third person singular could be what? Like my father has, my mother has. Don't say my parents. If you say my parents, then you will have to say have. My parents have, because they are third person plural. So if you talk about third person singular, it should be singular. If you say my, so my son has a video game. If you have two sons, and if you say that my sons, when you say sons, do not say has. You have to say have. My sons have. So if you talk about one person, okay, then you have to use has. Like my sister has, my brother has, my daughter has. But my sisters have, my brothers have. Okay, are you getting what is the difference? So we are talking about third person singular. So for positive sentence you have to use has. If I have to say about the possession of my father, if I say that hey, my father has a car, my father has a car. Okay, my mother has a lot of dresses, my mother has a lot of dresses. It means lot of dresses belong to my mother. My mother possesses those lot of dresses. That's why I am saying has. So this has is showing the possession of any person. Okay, it could be father, mother, brother, sister, neighbor, whoever. Okay, if I say that my brother has a bike, my brother has a bike, it means that bike belongs to my brother. So in order to show the possession, I am going to use has. This much you have understood, guys? Now we will talk about the negative. And in negative, you have to focus a lot. If you talk about negative, then say doesn't, and when you say doesn't, you have to say have. Doesn't have. You can't say doesn't has. For positive, you are saying that my brother has a bike. You are saying has. Okay? But when you say negative sentence, then you have to say my brother doesn't. When you say doesn't, now don't use has. You have to use have. My brother doesn't have a bike. Doesn't have a bike. There are so many people out there who don't understand. Doesn't, has or have. Because in positive, for brother you are using has. And if you talk about negative, you are using doesn't have. Why has, why have? But you have to use this, guys. Okay? Why it is happening? If I say, then do you know about present indefinite? If I say that he goes, are you able to see here? Okay. If I say that he goes to market. He goes to market. Okay. This is the positive sentence of present indefinite. It shows the routine, like he goes to market daily, afternoon, whatever. If I talk about the negative, then what you do? You say he, and in negative you put doesn't. He doesn't. When you say doesn't, suddenly this goes, this goes will turn into go. He doesn't go to market. So it proves that whenever you say doesn't, then it comes to its reality. It comes to reality. Reality is what? The main base form is what? Go. Go is the first form. Okay. So it comes to the first form. It comes to the first form. If I talk about the forms of verbs, I will have to teach here like this. Are you able to see here? Here. See guys. You know about V1, V2, V3, V4, V5. Are you able to see here? Okay. So let's talk about have. This is have. V1. V2 is had. V3 is had. V4 is having. And V5 is has. Are you getting this? Are you able to see? Fine. So if you are saying in positive sentence, like he has a bike. He has a bike. It's a positive sentence. So when you turn into negative, you say he and you have to put doesn't. So when this is positive, the has is V5. You are using V5. But when you put doesn't, after putting doesn't, V5 has to turn into V1. Your V5 is has, and has will turn into V1, it means have. So whenever you put doesn't, you have to say have. Instead of saying has, you have to say have. He doesn't have. He doesn't have a car. In positive, he has a car. In negative, he doesn't have a car. He has a car, he doesn't have a car. So this is the logic behind this. So now speak 5-10 sentences about any third person, that whatever he or she doesn't possess, you can say that, okay, my mother doesn't have driving skills, my father doesn't have a good bike, okay, my son doesn't have a good toy. So my son doesn't have, I can't say doesn't has. Got it? But if I have to speak about positive sentence, I will definitely say my son has a bike, my son has a car, my brother has a lot of money. So did you understand? Has and doesn't have. Okay? Now, if I ask questions, okay? Suppose this first person is asking question to this second person about a third person singular. This first person is asking that whether this third person possesses something or not, So the first person has to know either yes or no. Let's take an example. I am the first person, you are the second person, okay? I am asking you some questions about your father, your brother, your sister, your husband, your wife. So I am first, you are second, and whoever I am asking about, that person is third person, and it has to be singular. It means at a time one person will be dealt. So if I am asking you a question, then my question must start with does. Like, hey, does your father? And after that subject, I have to put have. Why? Because whenever you use does, the V5 will turn into V1. So, does your father have a car? I am a first person, I'm asking a question to the second person about a third person. So if I want to know either yes or no, I'm not sure about your father's possession. I don't know whether your father has a car or not. I have to know either yes or no. Then my question must be started with the help of does. Like, does your father have a car? Does your father have a car? Does your mother have a lot of saris? Does your brother have a bike? Does your sister have a lot of money? So does plus subject plus have, not has. Has only for positive sentence. When you answer, when you say yes, my father has a car, my brother has a bike. If no, then my father doesn't have a car, my brother doesn't have a bike. So are you getting what I'm teaching you guys? Has for positive, for negative doesn't have, and for interrogative does, after that subject then have. Okay, so when you have to do practice, how will you do the practice? You have to make a list of so many questions. Okay, like, hey, does your mother have any tension? Does your mother have any tension? The answer would be yes, my mother has tension. No, my mother doesn't have any tension. My mother doesn't have any stress. Hey, does your father have a lot of money? Does your father have a lot of money? Yes, my father has a lot of money. No, my father doesn't have a lot of money. Did you get that? Okay. If you talk about WH questions, you can put like, okay, how much money does your father have? How many saris does your mother have? How many bikes does your brother have? How many smartphones does your wife have? Then the answer would be, my wife has 2 smartphones, my brother has 2 bikes, my father has only 1 car, this kind of answer. So this is WH word, like how much or why does he have a car? So you can make some questions with the help of some WH. So first WH, and after that you have to put does, like why does your father have a car? Why does? How many cars does your father have? Like this. If you talk about interrogative plus negative, then you have to put, I'm going to write here. Are you able to see here? First put does and put not here. Say doesn't, and after that the subject, and then have. If you have to say like, hey, doesn't your father have a bike? Doesn't your father have a bike? It is interrogative plus negative. Doesn't your father have a bike? Answer could be anything. Oh yeah, my father has a bike. No, my father doesn't have a bike. Hey, doesn't your mother have a lot of dresses? Doesn't your mother have a lot of dresses? This is interrogative plus negative. If it is only interrogative, does your mother have a lot of dresses? If it is interrogative plus negative, hey, doesn't your mother have a lot of dresses? So you have understood positive, negative, interrogative, and interrogative plus negative. So this is all about this video, everyone. I believe you must have understood. So in next video, I'll teach you, I'll give you some sentences to practice, guys. As I always do, I do the screen recording and all. So through that, I will teach you guys. So if you want, you can take the screenshot of it. This is all about this video. Thank you, guys. Stay connected.